Energized Bengals back on the practice field again with Joe Burrow. Mike Petraglia outside Paycor Stadium. Here on Thursday afternoon, the Bengals in shorts and shells on a gorgeous, sunny late summer afternoon outside Paycor Stadium on the Kettering Health practice fields. Joe Burrow again out there on the field. Again, the team was not in full pads like they were on Wednesday. This was a little bit more than a walkthrough on Thursday afternoon. Bengals getting their final practice in before a 3-day weekend begins. Labor Day weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The players will have the day off before they resume preparations on Monday, Labor Day itself, to get ready for the season opener on September 10th in Cleveland. Joe Burrow again on the field. Will he be ready in time for that season opener, having returned to full practice really just on Wednesday? Well, according to Zach Taylor and Brian Callahan, there's a good feeling, a sense, a probability that he indeed will be on that playing field on September 10th at First Energy Stadium playing quarterback for the Bengals. Zach Taylor saying here on Thursday that it's obvious when Joe Burrow's on that field, it energizes everybody on that field. That was the sense Wednesday when he returned, and certainly talking to Brian Callahan after practice here on Thursday afternoon, he said he really likes what he has seen from Joe Burrow in the last 2 days, getting a lot of work done. An important note here, though, and the Bengals have been very cautious and very calculating in how they've worked Joe Burrow back into the rhythm of practice, getting ready eventually for a game. He was not part of full team periods. He was, again, working in individual skills, individual drills. He was doing that. He was throwing on air, as they like to call it, with no defensive line or defensive backs in front of him. It was Jake Browning taking most of the reps in the full team portion, but Joe Burrow was on the field again, going through the individual drills, getting timing patterns down with his three amigos. That would be Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, of course, and Tyler Boyd. So Joe Burrow is taking it measured, making sure everything is good with that right calf before he gets back into full practice mode. And that's expected to be next weekend. As for Joe Burrow, the leader, Brian Callahan said something interesting after practice here on Thursday. He said, this is a much more vocal Joe Burrow. He's more comfortable in command of the offense, and he's willing to speak up in meetings. And that's something he has noticed over his years with guys like Peyton Manning in Denver in 2016. Now, he said Joe Burrow is not Peyton Manning at this point in terms of the leadership and the command of the room and the offense, but he's getting there and eventually probably will be that kind of quarterback someday. But for now, Joe Burrow doesn't have to say a lot. He picks his spots and he speaks up when he needs to, and that's the kind of leader Joe Burrow is evolving into. In terms of what the Bengals were doing here on Thursday with regard to other players, Joseph Ossai, again, not on the field. They are dealing with his sprained right ankle. Again, Zach Taylor saying here on Thursday they don't have a lot more details on Joseph Ossai's condition with regard to that right ankle. Don't know if he's headed on the IR or not. That's way too early to tell, but they should have some more information over the Labor Day weekend. As for Joe Burrow and his teammates, well, of course, everybody wants to see in that Bengal locker room Joe Burrow back on the practice field this next week as he gets ready for the Cleveland Browns. We'll have you completely covered on clnsmedia.com. As always, follow me on Twitter, X, if you will, at Trags, Trags. And as always, follow me on my YouTube page at youtube.com/@Jungle Roar Pod. Outside Paycor Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.